I hope you can hear me, and now I will share my camera. You can see my video and Fusion 360 screen. Hi, and welcome the first live session at Designwagoon YouTube and Instagram channel. Well, we will be share some Fusion 360 tips, modeling, and some different techniques of how can be used for designing, 3D designing especially, and modeling, and also how can you use Fusion 360 for other stuff. Well, we can start with Workspaces on Fusion 360. And also don't be hesitate to say hi and ask your question about 3D designing and also 3D projects that you are working on. And you can ask your questions. Well, I will be answered in the end of the session. And also, I have a question for you. Why do you want to learn 3D designing? You can share your thoughts on comments on Instagram and YouTube channel. Well, we can start with Workspaces on Fusion 360. Firstly, Design Workspace, Design module, is creating some 3D models. There are mainly two types of modeling 3D parts, components. Well, we can say CAD, computer-aided design models, and you can work with some sketches, then you can create 3D objects from using this sketch. And also organic modeling techniques. Well, we already talked about the T-spline NURBS modeling technique. Mainly, you can do blendedly two of techniques in Fusion 360. Also, the surface, you can create some surfaces on Fusion 360 and mesh and sheet metal modeling techniques. Well, after you design some components or parts on Fusion 360, well, also there is some different workspaces. Maybe I will change the render workspace, and as you can see, after change the workspace, you only see some tools is about rendering. Well, this is the easy way you can learn 3D designing in general, because there are lots of tools and workspaces, but in Fusion 360, if you want to render some objects, if you want to see some objects realistic way, as you can see, you can easily change the module as render. And also, there are some other workspaces like animation, like simulation, generative design, technical drawing, and also electronic modeling, electronic designing for create some PCB electronic cards. Well, also it's you can create your G-codes for 3D printers or your CNC machines. Well, welcome all of you guys. On Instagram, you can say hi and where are you connecting from. And also, I have a question for you. Why do you want to learn 3D designing? Well, it's gonna be really fast 3D modeling video today, and I would like to start with this servo motor holder. Normally, as you can see, after design some parts, you can create assemble in the same workspace, design workspace. We will create together some spool gears like this one, and in the same workspace we will create assemble on that. As you can see, after create the 3D design, you can use the assemble tool to assemble on that. As you can see, it works perfectly. Well, this type of design is a computer-aided design. We generally use sketch and dimensions to create these parts. But also, I would like to mention about other modeling techniques. Create form modeling. Normally, we create some sketch and then we submit some dimensions and use some different 3D tools like extrude, revolve, and we create our components. But in the organic modeling or T-spline modeling in Fusion 360, you can see, I will change visual style shaded with visible X only. As you can see, there are some X, vertex, and you can edit, modify the model as you wish. It's totally different design approach, and after you create your parts in form modeling, the nice thing with form modeling tool is after you finished form, you will get same CAD models. What I mean is you can manufacture it on your 3D printers or CNC machine. It's really interesting and is totally work is blended with CAD and organic models. Well, I would like to create for you some spool gears. You can use create sketch, or there are some interesting tools in design workspace, scripts and add-ins. Well, there are several different scripts. I'll choose Spool Gears and click on that. It will exist some different pop-up which you can create Spool Gears, where sorry for you cannot see the other pop-up window, but after you choose the spool gear, I basically choose the OK. And then script is working and create the design as Spool Gear. You can find your own Fusion 360 application. Well, as you can see, there are spool gears as a component. It's important, it should be a component. Well, I'm basically Control C and Control V to copy that, but you can use this way. Right click on browser and paste new to create new component. After I created the other spool gear, I changed the location, something like that. There is some green construction lines, which is mean the pitch diameter. It's okay for me. Then we have to create some cylinder in the center of spool gears. Quickly, I will create cylinder and capture position. Select the face of spool gears. Then you can create a little cylinder. But I would like to change the diameter of cylinders or whole diameter of spool gears. There is very handy tool as Q, press and pull. I press the Q button on my keyboard, then I can change the position of this hole diameter, as you can see. Well, I will do same thing on cylinder. The button Q is press pull button. I'm selecting face, then it will exist an arrow. As you can see, I change the diameter. It's okay for me. Then I will do same thing on that. With Q button, I'm expanding the diameter of hole. It's not important the dimensions. Well, normally we use the cylinder tool and we quickly create a cylinder as a component or body. Now I will use the create sketch, then selecting the face of second spool gears. Now I have to create a cylinder. Well, what's the circle creates? Basically a circle, but there are some different types of circles. Center diameter, 2-point, 3-point. Well, normally I'm not using these tools. I quickly press C as a shortcut of circle. Then, as you can see, there are all feature tools on there. Basically, I can choose the center diameter circle, but you can change as you wish. Then I will create a circle. Well, this is a circle in the sketch. We have to create a 3D design. Well, how can we do that? We can use some different tool as extrude or revolve or loft. Now it can be useful to choose the extrude tool. You can easily press E button, or I'm selecting finish sketch. On the solid toolbar there is extrude E button as a shortcut. Then I'm selecting profile and there is an arrow. You can enter a dimension for extrude after you select the profile. It's important. And there are some different rules for extrude. For example, direction is one side, or you can change the direction as symmetric. As you can see, it's the same on two sides. Or if you select the two sides, you can enter different dimensions on the two sides. Well, I'm selecting one side, then hit OK. Now there is two different components and two different bodies. The important thing is if we want to make an assemble on the project, we generally change the all parts, all bodies to components. Well, now we can make our assemble because the two spool gears are components. But I would like to explain how, after you change all bodies to components, how you can do your assembles. Easily choose create components from bodies after you select the body on the toolbar. I think you cannot see, but basically you just click the body button on the browser and create components from bodies. And then we can use assemble as joint, assemble joint. The shortcut is G button, joint, the first letter of joint. Well, now there are some 4 components. Firstly, we have to make some 2 components. For example, cylinders, we have to assign as ground. I'm selecting one of the components as we created as cylinder. I basically right click on the component and ground. And for the other cylinder, I'm selecting ground. Now after I press the ground, there is no position changement on two cylinders, but I can change the position of spool gears because there is component and there is no assignation as joint. Well, I'm selecting joint, and for the first component I'm selecting the edge of these faces. First one, then the second one on the component, on the edge of the component. Well, after selecting these two edges, in the motion tab on joints, I'm selecting revolve. Then you can see the how rotate the spool gears on our design. I will do the same thing, but there is different joint type as built joint. Shift plus G on the keyboard, the shortcut is. I will change the joint type as revolve, and easily I'm selecting first component, then second component, and I just assign what is the axis for these two of components. I'm selecting the center of cylinder, then as you can see it works for two of spool gears. Well, the important thing, the spool gears doesn't know each of them. We have to say you should stop on there. Well, how can we assign these two of spool gears as a ratio 1:1? In the Assemble tab, there is motion link. The motion link is work for to connect two different types of joints. I'm selecting first joint and second joint. Well, as you can see, two of spool gears working together, and it works perfectly after I change the rotation of one of the spool gears. Well, I would like to say some last things for the video. There is a motion study. If you want to create much details on your own projects, you can choose one of the joints and you can create a motion study. Well, for now you cannot see the motion study tab, but in the next tutorials of Designwagoon YouTube channel you will see, or also in Designwagoon Instagram channel, I will add these details. Sorry for that, you cannot see the tabs, pop-ups, windows, but I will share with you. You can create some detailed projects on 3D designing. Well, also I would like to say about some other workspaces on Fusion 360. Normally, after you create your design in 3D designing workspace, computer-aided design based works or organic modeling techniques, after you created your components, you can change your workspace to animation to animate your models. And also, if you want to render it, because for now it not looks like great, or you want to save your documents as JPEG or image file formats, well, you can change the workspace as designed to render, and you can easily create some realistic photos on rendering section. Well, there are some tools for rendering workspace as appearance or scene settings. After you assigned all details of your components, you can easily hit the render button to create your realistic photos for your own projects. Well, I would like to thank you all, and now I'm listening your questions. If you have any question about the 3D designing, 3D design projects, and also I have a question for you. Why do you want to learn 3D designing? You can drop a comment below, and generally I'm sharing some tips and tutorials about 3D designing, mainly on Fusion 360 and also about Cinema 4D, Blender as a modeling technique of organic modeling, T-spline or NURBS modeling. There's two types of different modeling techniques. Today, in this video, we reveal some CAD modeling techniques. One of them to create 3D model as cylinder, and the other one we use the sketch to create some circle and then use the extrude tool to create a 3D model. Also, there is other 3D modeling techniques as organic modeling or T-spline modeling. Well, you can use both of them on the same workspace and design workspace, and after you create your designs, you can easily change the workspaces to create other details of your projects. Well, I hope everybody understands all details of 3D designing in Fusion 360 as a main two types of modeling techniques, as 3D designing CAD modeling using sketch and other techniques of 3D modeling, and also there is form modeling, as you can create some morph objects on Fusion 360. Well, if you have any question, drop a comment, and you can don't forget to like our video and share them, and also you can subscribe Designwagoon channel. Thanks for your joining.